Yes, sir. Welcome back to Paper Route. We are here. I Am Mathlete presents Paper Route. Ashley Nicole Moss.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about. This is no longer the dog days of sports. I think you're the only one that calls it the dog days.
Calls. My dad actually called it that before I left the house.
Can you speak into the mic?
My dad actually called it that before I left the house this morning.
All right. So before we get into the world of sports, so much going on, Corey.
Absolutely.
Right? Can you give us maybe 3 or 4 things that's happened since we've been gone? Action-packed weekend. What's some of the things that we want to hit?
Well, I mean, some of the things that we'll hit later, I don't want to give away, I guess, maybe the news of the day, but we heard that Jonathan Taylor, running back for the Indianapolis Colts, requested a trade. So we're going to definitely get into that a little bit later. And also, we want to give our thoughts on maybe some of the rookies that seem to be showing out in training camp up until this point. So we'll hit that later in the show, too. But, do we want to get into the news?
You know what I want to get into? I want to get into how Brandon bit my whole swag. You ever see that Soulja Boy video where he says, bar for bar?
Yeah.
So, you took my whole swag. So I want to tell everyone a story. I've been wearing these Saint Laurent glasses for months. Okay, I actually got them 2.5 months ago, and I've been rocking them. I don't know if the crew noticed. Every time I would walk into the studio and I would have these on. Right now, they're my favorite pair of glasses. I'm feeling them a lot.
They're so dope.
And
on me.
First of all, they're women's glasses. Let's just clear that first and foremost. I walk into the studio today, and I see these glasses on Brandon Marshall's desk, and I'm like,
I know they're in my bag right now.
Because these glasses are also on my face. Look how small they are on his head.
Perfect.
They don't even fit you, bro.
Please get in the chat. Please get in the chat and do 2 things for us. One, let us know if these actually fit my face and they look cool. And 2, also let us know who's wearing them better. But I do want to say this, right? I'm gonna show a little love.
Okay.
You know the youth, Gen Z, all my nieces and nephews. You know what they be talking about? Hey twin, you my twin now. I'm gonna call you twin. What's up, twin?
Nah,
ain't they be saying that, twin?
You my biter. You my biggest hater. You my biggest motivator.
But do you say that, or have you heard the younger
twin
people?
them?
They be like, yo, twin, that's my twin. Hey twin.
I mean, twin. We were saying that before.
Oh, for real?
But now it's twinning them because of what was the song?
Ain't nobody saying twinning.
Yeah, it is. The song with
what's
the song stuff. Glorilla? She had that song Tomorrow. She said, "Walking with my twin in them." Yeah. That's where they got that from.
So you my twin in them?
Nah. You my biter. You a biter.
But this is what we got to talk about, Ashley.
See, take them off, B-March.
Hold on. That's who said that. Hold on. I'm only listening to Christy O. I'm only listening to Pamela and St. Patrick.
Yo, we got 2 guys in the studio. Corey.
What's up?
Woo. Do those glasses not look too small on Brandon's face?
They look a little tiny.
You might need to switch.
Give me a little cyclops.
No. I wore these to the fight.
Well,
I know we're going to talk about the fight.
Then whoever was with you at the fight does not love you because they did not tell you that they were too small for your face.
I will say this, though. These aren't even for studio. I wear these when I'm out in the club. I wear these, which I'm never in the club. I wear these at major events, like I said, at the fight. So I'm rocking these today. But, Ashley, I've been on glasses before you. So let's, whether we're both rocking the Saint Laurent glasses or not, right? Who bought them first? That's irrelevant. I am the trendsetter when it comes to me and you as twins when it comes to glasses. True or false?
No, false. Definitely false. You're the trendsetter?
Yeah.
Nah, I can't adhere to that narrative.
Ashley, no, seriously, Ashley's probably, we'll get into the show. We'll talk sports. So be patient with us guys. But Ashley's probably been rocking glasses, like really into them longer than I have. Like I've always had some glasses, but I've never worn them out at night. You know, now I'm starting to do that, you know, and I love the lenses where you can still see my eyes. Ashley, remember
you're more on the shoe game than me though. I'll give you that.
Really?
Yeah, like I got into the sneaker game kind of not late, but compared to you, late. I was in high school.
Right.
So, but for me, it's always been bags and glasses. It's like my collector thing. Yeah. Like I can never have too many of those. So
I'm just now getting
and I've kind of fallen back from the sneaker game a little bit.
Really?
I was heavy into it in high school and college and even like my early mid-20s. But it's just like, I started thinking like, damn, I can't wear all these shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm spending money on shoes and like, I really in rotation wear like every day, maybe the same like 7 pairs of shoes.
I ain't gonna call you out.
Like, I love my Yeezys.
Yeah, them Yeezys. You love Yeezys.
But no, these I like a lot though right now because of my foot. But normally I wear my Pandas, my Dunks.
Yep, Pandas.
I usually wear like my ones. Mm-hmm. And I usually only wear my red and black ones the most. I rotate the same like 6 shoes. So
That's
like
good
I have
to
a
have a
bunch
nice
of
rotation,
shoes
though.
that are like collectors. Like
But
my
you
Space Jams are still in the plastic.
You should really get back into sneakers because like you're you have a nice little you can hit both ends of the spectrum, right? So like you can get fly and put on heels, put on boots, do all of that stuff, the girly stuff that you do, and then you go to the other side and you can dress it down.
No, I know, I do, and that's one of the reasons I've like dabbled, like I've collected them for so long, but now I'm just kind of like, damn, like I never really like wear all. I got shoes still in plastic.
I hear you, twin. I hear you, twin.
I need to crack
Let's
out
get to
some
the
Space
news.
Jams.
My twin, look, my twin.
Nah,
that's my
Nah,
twin.
you can't have my Space Jam. Those are a collector item. Fall back.
All right. Listen, it's time to talk about it, right? And that is the carnage that took place in Las Vegas over
The
the
what?
weekend. The carnage. Yes, the carnage. That is the word I used to describe it. Terence Crawford beat Errol Spence Jr. to become the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. It was bad, Brandon.
It was
bad.
bad.
It was.
He won,
I watched
he
this,
won
so
via
you can
TKO
include me
the
in this
9th round.
conversation this time around.
Yeah. But can we talk about how Brandon said this was going to be a draw?
That's better than me. I went with the Dallas boy. I took Stack's lead, and I went with Errol Spence.
sure?
I'll say this before we dive in and we go in on my prediction. Definitely off. First, I was proud of Ashley. We talked about this last week. They got on me about not being on Twitter. So I jumped on Twitter right after the fight, like everyone else. Errol Spence and Bud Crawford is trending. This fight is trending. So much is trending. You know who else was not trending but very active around the fight was Ashley. I mean, she was tweeting every 5 minutes.
No, I literally
Your
had,
commentary was great around
Hold on a
boxing.
second. I had 4 tweets about the entire fight.
No, you did not.
I can
Count
pull-
them up. No,
I
it
can
wasn't
count
no
them
4.
right now. Do you want me to count them up?
Ashley, right? The reason why this is
I'm
important,
gonna pull it up
players.
right now. I'm gonna pull it
Hey,
up right
I think I came up with the name too for our audience. So players.
1, 2, 3.
No, keep going.
4.
Keep going.
4.
4. We stopped
I
at 4.
tweeted Errol Spence
There's
Jr.
more
before
to
the
be-
fight. Then I said, nah, Crawford is in the zone. Then I put in the little throw in the towel gif. And then number 4 was an absolute clinic by Terence Crawford. Unbelievable. It was
4 tweets in 9 rounds? That's a
I
lot.
don't know, Ashley. I'm counting 6.
Yo,
Yeah, thank you. Keep
Say
going.
count.
Nah, first of all, the
Fact
retweets
checking.
don't count.
Yes, they do. Yes,
no,
they do.
I didn't tweet that.
Doesn't matter. You were active.
Oh,
but I'll
yeah, I
say this.
retweeted the intro with Eminem because that was
Yeah.
fire.
That was dope.
Yeah.
The
I'll
meme
say
or whatever
this.
is funny though.
Yeah.
I'll say this. The reason why that's significant is because I've been telling Ashley that the greatest sporting event that you can go to is a boxing event. We're not talking about a World Cup. We're not talking about a Super Bowl. We're not talking about tentpole events. We're just talking about a casual, a sporting event, regular season. Boxing is the best event that you can go to, especially a fight like this. They were calling this, the fight of the generation. They were calling this like
You called it that.
no, not me, the experts.
No, it
I
was-
didn't
it
remember
was, though.
Stack
It
did, and I
actually
pushed back on Stack, and I said no. Pacquiao Mayweather was bigger
Oh, you
than
did,
this.
you did, but it
Right?
wasn't. Pacquiao Mayweather wasn't.
I'm sitting
bigger
next
than
to Andre 3000. Dame is in front of me. The Wayans brothers is here. Like everybody, the who's who. Lil Wayne is a couple rows in front of me. Like it was just magical. It was great to be there. I was shocked, Corey, at this outcome. Yes, I wanted to bet. I didn't bet. I wanted to bet the draw, and it was 14-1. And I wanted to put down $20,000 on the draw because what I did Monday when I got to Vegas last Monday or Tuesday, I watched almost all of their highlights. Right, I didn't watch all their fights. I watched all their highlights in their biggest in 2 of their biggest fights each. And it was so even. We talking about the sweet science. We're talking about very technical. This is unprecedented. We've never been in a situation where you got a 35-year-old boxer still in his prime, a 33-year-old boxer still in his prime. They meet and they're undefeated and their O is on the line. And for not Errol Spence, but for Bud Crawford to go in there and put on that type of show, it was the greatest strategic outing any sporting event any player has ever had. It was like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady going at it in their prime and one of them losing 50-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's what this was. So this was big. You never go against the culture. So that's why it was a hard bet for me, Ashley. I don't know how you saw it. I don't know what you enjoyed the most, but it was legendary, but it was lopsided. And that guy right there who's wearing that prime chain, Man, now we're talking about who's better in their prime,
Is that
him
his
or
drink?
Floyd Mayweather.
No.
That's the brother, Jake Paul, Logan Paul,
Yeah.
and the other influencer. So Ashley, what did you enjoy? What did you see? I know you were home watching it.
I just was taken aback by how lopsided it was. I think that just like everybody else going into this, I mean, I didn't think it would end up in a draw. Obviously, I had Errol Spence. I took Stack's advice.
What?
And
so you took Stack over me?
You said a draw. At least he picked a winner. You know what I mean? Like, and also I went with the Dallas boy, a fellow Cowboys fan. You know, I pledged my allegiance that way. I didn't think that it was gonna be a draw. I thought that there was gonna be a winner. I picked my winner. But the outcome of the fight is what surprised me the most, was that it was so lopsided. And this isn't two guys who I don't feel like going into the fight, it was a drastic difference in talent. I feel like they're both equally as talented,
Right.
equally as skilled. So for this to be the outcome was definitely something that came out of left field. I mean, shout out to JP. He tried to tell me, he was like, listen, you bet on the wrong horse. He tried to tell me to go with Bud. I didn't listen to him.
JP said that?
He did.
Corey,
and then
what did he know?
and then he texted me during the fight and he was like, I told your ass to not. Like, I mean, it was, it was crazy.
Wow.
Like, his face was insane.
Right. That's why I said, Ashley, let's think about it. Let's go through the scenarios. I threw out Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning in their prime. You can even throw Drew Brees in there. We're talking about two just giants and one getting their ass beat 50-0. That's what that was. In basketball, let's go in one-on-one terms. That's Kobe Bryant versus MJ. Just one-on-one. One-on-one, ISO. And that's one of them losing. This is how bad it was. That's like Kobe Bryant or MJ, vice versa, beating the other 11-1. That's how bad it was. After Earl won the first one. He's the bigger fighter. They said he was the most powerful
I feel like
fighter.
Kobe Michael Jordan's a little extreme.
No, it's not. That's how extreme this was, Ashley. Look at his face.
But who are you equating to Kobe and Michael?
So this is two. Basically, what I'm saying is it doesn't matter. One of them's MJ. One of them's Kobe. One of them's Peyton Manning. One of them's Tom Brady. Right? We're talking about two giants just going head to head in their prime. This is unprecedented fight. They're both undisputed. They're both undefeated, and they go head to head. A lot of fighters in this era are running away from these type of matchups and these fights. They get after it, okay? And then he get beat like that. He won. Errol Spence won the first round. Bigger fighter, more powerful. His strategy was clear from the start. I'm a back him down, right? I'm gonna impose my will. Bud sat back and was countering everything. He caught him, but Errol won the first one. After that, it was over, Woo.
I know.
Corey, now you came out here. Now, Corey, I keep telling you this. You can go down as a legend if you want to. You can go down as a legend if you want to. But you are afraid to put your hot takes out there.
I'm afraid.
You went out there and you're telling all your homeboys, oh my goodness, it's going to be a left hook in the ninth. Say it, tweet it, but you're afraid to put it out there.
So I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you right there, and what we're gonna do is ask the chat if Corey in the cut wasn't saying multiple times that it was gonna go Crawford's way. I said, did I not on this show say that it was gonna go to Crawford?
You did say it was
multiple
Crawford.
times, and I told you how he was gonna do it, and it happened in the same way. I just didn't on this show say it was gonna happen in the ninth. What did I say? I said Errol Spence, if he comes in with the same game plan as he always does, which is what? Impose my will. Fight inside, lean in, and try to just try to be the nope.
I'm saying Arrow's strategy. Yeah, it was dry, like what you're saying. Go ahead.
Exactly, and Crawford is the stronger. He was the stronger puncher. That was evident almost even in the first round. In the first round, really what he was doing was just gathering information. We see the greats like Floyd Mayweather do the same thing, and he lost the first round. But then what happened in the second?
It was a wrap.
Errol Spence was trying to stay in there, right? Put his head in his work, and all Crawford was doing was counterpunching and doing just what you're seeing him do right here in this picture. It was slow. It was slow from him.
Can I also just point out, like, this is where I like boxing to go, meaning that I want to see people put that O on the line because I think it makes the sport better.
That's right.
That's all I wanted to say.
No, I agree. Well, you're seeing it now, right? Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, right? They did it. Now you have Devin Haney, who seems to be maybe not ready for Shakur Stevenson. right? Also in Bud Crawford's stable. He's a stable mate there, right? So they run together. But we want to see that. Javonte Tank Davis, Shakur Stevens, or Devin Haney. So it feels like it's going that way. And it feels like the boxing fan now is respecting guys who may have 1, 2, 3 losses. I do want to say this before we push the conversation forward. Corey.
Well, before you do that, can we shout out? We have 800 people in the chat right now.
For real.
I see that. Go ahead. Did we hit that?
Hi,
shout
everyone.
out to the team.
Paper chases.
I was waiting for the segue. Okay. We have over 800 people in the chat. 800 people watching this lovely Monday. Great way to start off the week with Paper Route. We have our usuals. I see some new people in the chat. Hello to everyone. Hope you all had an amazing weekend.
B. Morale, Christy O.
Yeah, the usual schmusuals.
Shelly Bibbins.
The regular schmegulas.
You know what? We should
and
put it on them.
people.
We should put it on them. Christy O, Pamela, right?
Yeah.
Like, St. Patrick. Is he still involved? Is he still
I
around?
haven't
He was
seen
in
that
here.
name
Nah,
in
I
a
saw him.
while.
He was in here.
Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome. We got we usually we right around 250 to 400.
Yeah.
Can you guys need to take ownership of this? Like,
Hi, everyone.
it's like it and Ashley, whenever, when I was playing ball, right? So I was playing with the Jets. Let's say go to Chicago
You played
Bears
with the
days.
Jets? I didn't know that.
Let's go to Chicago Bears Day.
You
So
played
Coach
with the Bears
Preston,
too? I didn't know that either. Wow,
I
you
didn't play
learn
for the
something new
Cowboys.
on this show every day.
I didn't play for the Cowboys. We get a new player in. The head coach's general manager will have a group text, say, hey, go welcome, Martellus Bennett. Go welcome, this guy, right? They welcomed me, Devin Hester and all those guys. They, Julius Peppers, they welcomed me when I got there. So I feel like that we need to put that on Go St. Patrick. I feel like we need to put that on Pamela, right? We got 810. So, yes, we need to do our part and say thank you so much for rocking with us. We're here Monday through Thursday. But Pamela and Go St. Patrick should be our captains, right?
The welcome committee?
And Christy
Yeah,
O.
and Christy
Yeah, the
O.
welcome committee. I feel like they should be the ones. Maybe we send them a link. I've been trying to do this for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and we haven't been able to do this.
No rookie hazing, y'all.
We should send them a link, let them tap into the show live, right? And then they can welcome everybody. How do you feel about that?
I feel like people are also watching, though, and they're at work and things like that. That may be a little hard. Christy O, I know, is working.
Right.
Go St. Patrick is working.
Are they working? Are y'all working right now?
They
Go St.
mention
Patrick,
all
Christy
the
O?
time that they watch from work.
Okay.
So, it may be a little hard for them to, tap in. But we appreciate them being in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get back into it. Just wanted to shout everybody out.
No, that's a
Paper
big deal. I'm
chases.
glad you did that because, it's hard doing what we're doing, right? And being consistent, believing in what we're doing, and and that's what you're looking for, the numbers to grow and to spike so we can attract more partners so we can keep this thing going.
For
so
sure.
Thank you guys so much. What I was saying is this, right? Corey, you talked about Bud's strategy and how he was countering Errol Spence, right? Throw these pictures, these graphics back up. Keep them coming in, man, so you guys can see this and really understand why I said, this is like Tom Brady and Peyton going at it and someone losing 50-0, or Michael Jordan and MJ, Kobe Bryant and LeBron playing one-on-one and someone losing 11-1. We didn't think that this was going to happen. This was a great, great outing by Bud. This was a legendary fight. For him to do this to Errol, he didn't even do this to bum fighters. This was this might have been his greatest performance ever in his life.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay?
Real talk.
And Ashley, yes. he came out to Eminem. And
Which
that's
was
when we should have
amazing. That's
known.
one of my favorite songs ever, by the way. Lose
Right.
Yourself?
The song that, yeah.
But shouldn't we known then that this fight was going to
It's
be
over.
over when he brought out Eminem, right?
I mean, not necessarily.
That walkout don't always mean
maybe not
something.
necessarily, but I mean
Yeah.
that song does get you the eye of the tiger. That's coming out to the Rocky theme song.
It's not just
Da-na-na. It's just one of those songs that if you just are feeling down about yourself, or you're in
Right.
the gym, you got to hit that last set. You put that on, and it's just
Yeah.
you feel like you can do 50 more. It's just
I
that kind of
agree.
a song.
I agree with you there, but to me, that's not the significance. The significance is that Eminem doesn't do anything. And so for you to have Eminem come out to a fight, that's a big deal. Eminem Eminem barely does stuff for Dr. Dre and 50 Cent.
That is not true.
I promise you.
He did the Super
Well, he's
Bowl.
on the- He's on the back end of his
I
career,
think we
too.
had Tim on the show,
He's
and Tim talked
chilling.
about it. No, Eminem is turning down. 50 Cent talked about it on a podcast with Mary J. He said, I'll go to Eminem with a $50 million deal. Like, yo, we're going to do this one little deal over here in Dubai. They got 50 mil for us, a couple hours. Nah, I'm good. M don't do anything. So Bud tweeted out, okay, a couple days before the fight, who should I have walk me out? Eminem responded, oh, well, that would be an honor. You my greatest.
That's
you my
his favorite. That's his favorite boxer. Yeah.
You're right. So we should have known
that's
there.
dope.
I wanted to highlight that. But the last thing I'll say from a boxing standpoint, and you guys can close us out if y'all want, if y'all have anything to say here. You don't box a boxer, right? And George Foreman highlighted
Don't
this.
box a boxer.
Right. Well, meaning like Errol Spence is a fighter, right? That means exactly what he was trying to do in the first round. And then all the way through the entire fight, Corey, he was just
stick with it.
like just trying to knock him out. He almost looked like Wilder, just the left.
Yeah.
Crawford, what makes him great, he's like Floyd Mayweather, very technical, sweet science, right? And so he was just sitting there just countering. And what you don't do is you don't box a boxer. You don't be patient. He should have just been out there just throwing punches, and just trying to get him out of there. All he was doing was trying to be technical, and then he had the little right, left, overhand left, and that was it, right? So I feel like that's where he lost it. And some people, Corey, is saying that, he was dehydrated. Being at 147 was too hard for him. So he's already activated the rematch clause, but he wants it at 154.
I was going to ask you, do you want to see a rematch here?
It'd be interesting in a different weight class. I wouldn't do it in the same weight class.
Right after the fight, I said, no, it was too brutal. This reminds me of Wilder Fury, that trilogy, where, Wilder just couldn't do anything with them. He just got his ass whooped, right? And so right after I said, there's no way. It's not even close. But when you look at it and you think about, them potentially going up at 154, and Errol, he is smart and he has a great corner, coming back and saying, you know what, let me change up my strategy. I think that it will be a closer fight, and I don't think he'll get his ass whooped here. So, yes, I do want to see it, and they're saying that it will happen in December.
Ashley, would you like to see this rematch?
I think it's going to happen regardless of whether or not I want to see it or not.
Yeah.
But I would like to see it only because sometimes you just have a bad fight. And I don't think... Now, granted, could Crawford win again? Yes, but I don't think it would be as lopsided of a fight as it was this time around if we got a rematch. I feel like it'd be a little bit more evenly keeled, and I'd be interested in seeing a little bit more of an even fight than a drastically lopsided fight. So for that reason, I'd be interested in a rematch. I don't know if the outcome would be any different, but I think that the flow would be different, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what at least that's what I'm hoping. Because if it's the same outcome.
All right.
You're saying in a different weight class or in the same weight class?
No, different weight class.
You got to be 154.
Yeah.
Well, you know who was in his corner, but who was also in Errol Spence's locker room before the fight? Do you know who was in there? Because there's always celebrities and prominent people coming in and out to say what up and good luck.
No, who was there?
Jerry Jones.
Well, maybe that's why he lost.
So no. So I bring that up, right? Because Jerry Jones is
I can
known,
say that, okay? I'm a Cowboys fan, damn it.
Jerry Jones is known to put on events at the Star, right? He's hosted Errol Spence before. They're close. They're guys. So I feel like Jerry Jones was there scouting the environment, seeing if Errol Spence and Crawford could potentially sell out and create a really cool environment. They did that. We're talking about the who's who. Eminem was there. Lil Wayne was there. Like I said earlier, I'm sitting next to Andre 3000. Like the who's, Cardi B, Offset. Everybody was there. The whole culture was there. So I'm bringing all that up to say this, or maybe to ask this to you, Ashley. December, at the Star, Fight 2, Errol Spence, Crawford.
Is it going to be
Will
Dallas?
this be, if it's in Dallas or Vegas, will this be your first boxing event that you attend in person? Will you go?
What did Kodak say? I hope so. I hope so.
Ashley Nicole Moss is now a huge boxing fan.
I wouldn't say huge.
You're huge.
No, but you and Stack said you were going to take me.
We are.
Oh, so then yes. I hope so.
All right.
Well, guys, I kind of want to stay here, right? So before this mega fight on Saturday, they had their weigh-in on Friday, and there was some drama that kind of took place backstage. Brandon, did you kind of want to talk us through what happened there?
Yeah, so you have Caleb Plant and you have Jamal Charlo. And for you guys that know and been tracking this story, this was a big deal before the fight, right? So right at the weigh-in, the day before the fight, so this is Friday, behind the stage, there were so many altercations. But the one that went viral is Caleb Plant, another fighter who's really good, been struggling recently, walks up to Jamal Charlo and slaps him with an overhand left, right?
You mean an open hand left?
Open.
I said, right. Open overhand left. I said overhand.
Okay.
Open overhand left.
He slapped him?
Yeah, and this is significant because the Charlo brothers, how they move gangster. I'm going to be honest with you.
Slapping somebody
These my people. Caleb just showed how tough he is, how brave he is, how bold he is to do that. Because they roll with gangsters. They roll deep. But here's the story, right? Like I'm close to the Charlo brothers. They took care of me out in Vegas, even this one. So my security, my car service, all of that was set up by the Charlo the camp, right? Like I'm really close to them. So I got a little bit more information. I sat down with Charlo. We were able to connect over the last couple of days, right? If you go back to our show that we had him and his brother Jermel on, they talk about the family struggles and even the mental health challenges around Jamal, right? His brother, who's fighting Canelo in September, all right?
What were the mental health challenges for people who aren't familiar? Is he
So here it's basically
anxiety?
No, we didn't go into any type of diagnosis,
Okay.
but we went into it's like stress, like what's happening at home.
Got it. Okay.
Right? His relationship with his wife, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not being messy or being gossiping here. He talks about this on our podcast. For you guys that want to watch the full episode, it's there, and they open up about this, right? And so his brother Jermel comes out and he talks about his wife. So what we now know is the wives got into it. That's what started everything.
Their wives got into it.
Their wives got into it. Caleb Plant walked up and got in between trying to stop the brothers. Now the brothers are getting into it.
Oh, Caleb's wife and
the brothers, Jamal and Jermel, the twins,
sister-in-laws
got into it.
Yeah.
Okay, that other video that came out and went
Let's say the
viral.
sister-in-laws to make this real easy for people to understand.
There you go.
Sister-in-laws got into it.
So now the brothers are now getting into it. My dogs.
Okay, got it.
Caleb Plant comes trying to be a great Samaritan, gets in between.
Gets in between the brothers.
Like chill. Let's not right here. Now let's not do this.
Okay.
Right? Jamal allegedly pulls his beard.
Pulls Caleb's beard.
Caleb.
Okay. Everyone following so far.
And so that's why Caleb reacted and responded the way he did.
He slapped him.
Open hand slap, which is a problem.
Because he pulled his beard.
Yeah, he was really bold to do that because how they move is different. And I was very proud of Jamal and how he responded there. So that was this situation. There's a lot going on right now, even for the brothers, right? Like I said, you got Jermel, who's fighting. Jermel, who's...
I'm confused.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Because so you were told this story by the Charlo brothers, so they knew that Caleb was trying to break it up, and he still pulled his beard.
Yeah, you got to understand the environment.
Right.
No, but he knew. But
I don't know if he knew.
He vocalized to you that this man was trying to break up the fight, and he still pulled his beard.
No. Actually, there's a whole commotion. There's a lot of people around. Yeah. There's a lot going on.
I know, but what I'm saying to you,
if somebody comes and try to push you away, what do we always see in street fights?
I know, but what I'm saying to you is like, if I'm retelling that story and I'm thinking like, oh, he wants to fight or whatever, I'm not going to be like, yeah, so he came in here trying to break it up. Like he came in you knew he came in peace and he still pulled his beard.
Yeah. No. So this part of the story is not the conversation that me and Maul had.
So he didn't know that he was trying to break it up.
Some other stuff. His training camp coming up. So allegedly, supposedly, and this is not any news. It sounds like they've been working on a fight in October between Jamal and Caleb.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm talking to him about where his mind is at. I'm talking to him about, is he okay? You know,
So he didn't tell you that Caleb was trying to break up the fight.
this is the camp.
Got it. Okay.
This is the camp.
I was about to say.
And then also, like, you gotta think about that. Like,
That's interesting.
when there's a lot of commotion, what do we always see? Right? People getting into it, and then I might get into with somebody right now. And then y'all gonna get up and try to like, calm down, calm down. And a lot of times when you're so hot, what does the person do? Even to the people that their friends and their loved ones. Get out my way, get out my way. No.
I think Caleb wrong.
So
man.
there's just, you think Caleb is wrong?
Well, Caleb tried to break it up.
I've seen many of fights, man. Like, you got to be like at a distance,
to
like
stay out of it?
playing
You're
with
saying
it.
stay out
Because
of
like
it?
I feel like he got way too in the middle, and then they already being angry, pulled on his beard.
Well, I will say,
like I think he should let
New
security handle
York
that.
101, and BC can go ahead and attribute to this. Mind your business.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Just
say.
mind
like,
your business.
Yeah.
Now,
BC saying
listen,
facts.
I have seen people try to be good Samaritans and break up street fights, and now they got to fight. Mind your business. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do. My mom told a story one time. Was it my mom who told me a story or my dad? One of my parents told me a story of in New York. A couple was getting into an argument.
See where this is going already.
And I think it was my mom. And the couple was getting into an argument on the street. It was a man and a woman. And my mom like tries to like just, like take bring the woman like away from the guy,
Right.
like trying to make
Be a
sure
great
like nothing
Samaritan.
whatever. Be a good Samaritan, like it's a woman and a man, like
Lord.
just calm down, like let's not this. And she turns around and goes, "Mind your effing business, bitch. Why you over my baby?" Mind your business.
I knew that's where it was
Where
going.
good people always end up. Good people always end up last.
Keep it-
All right, good people always end up last.
You know what the saying is? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Just mind your business.
Well, you know what though? This is what I would say, right? Because there's a lot of attention around boxing right now. There's a lot of attention around the Charlo brothers right now. Caleb Plant, this is probably the best thing he could have probably done for his career. Now, I don't know if he's going to be, if he's subject to suspension or fine, or both. Something may happen because you can't do this. A boxer, like those are weapons. So if you're a professional boxer, a lot of people don't know this, but your hands are weapons. They're registered as weapons. It's the same as a gun, right? So you can't do this. You're held to a higher standard than any other Samaritan. So I say that because he could potentially be suspended. And if there is a fight in the works come this October, then we may not see it. But if he gets around this could have been the best thing he could have done for this fight and his career, because the last couple fights, he hasn't really shown well and he has a couple losses. So, there's a lot of tension around boxing. There's a lot of tension around Charlo. There's a lot of tension around Caleb Plant now. And so this fight come October could be another mega fight. So now you go from Errol Spence and Bud Crawford, devastating loss for Errol. That was a classic. And then you go into Charlo and Canelo in September. That's a huge one. Then you come back in October and you have another one in Plant and Jamal Charlo. And then come back in December and you have the rematch between Errol and Crawford. Boxing is back. Is boxing that back?
Anthony Joshua has a fight coming up too.
I don't know how I would have reacted if I was a boxer. My hands are registered as lethal weapons and someone slapped me in my face.
But that's what
I might have been in jail.
I'll tell you what, if they do end up
Right.
actually fighting in October, this is a great way to start that build up because I will be tuned in.
everybody's going to
I
tune
will be
in.
watching.
Like
Or
a
you said
slap,
this the rollout?
Yeah, this
is
the-
worse
it's
than a
the rollout.
punch.
Brandon,
Yeah,
when
that's
you,
personal.
A slap is worse than a punch.
Yes.
I'd rather him have decked him in the face,
Right.
but
She's
to
right.
slap somebody in the face is
I'll
like
give you
Break
one
that down
worse.
for people. Break that down for
I
people.
don't
Why
even-
is that?
like I just from a female standpoint, absolutely, but from a man standpoint, like getting decked in the face is like, all right, now we got
Respect.
to brawl. But like a slap is like, man, shut up, bitch. Like,
Can I
Show
it's
tell
that
you
like-
video
one word?
again.
I
Show
got
that
one
video
word.
again. Show that video again.
I got
DC.
one worse. The backhand.
Oh,
That's
backhand,
worse than the
though.
front hand
But a
slap.
slap
The
is true, but a
backhand?
slap
Right.
is a slap though. Like he
that's gonna
slapped
make
him in
noise,
the
too.
face.
Can
It did
start it
make
over.
noise.
Start it over.
It
You got to
echoed
see
in that-
it. And
in the hallway.
I hate to do this. I'm not trying to get messy because yeah.
God.
But guess what though?
It did make noise.
Let me tell you this though. Let me tell you this. If they get in the ring come October, oh my goodness, this might be the end of Caleb. If my brother get he get in the camp ASAP, get straight, it's a wrap for Caleb. I'm telling you that because he's the one supposed to be fighting Canelo. This dude is undefeated. Don't get it twisted. He been inactive for about a year handling some personal matters. But this dude right here is a goon. He's the type of person, this ain't business for them. This is personal for them.
Oh, yeah.
They are not all the way there all the time. This is going to be a scary fight for Plant.
A slap is crazy.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
Ashley's right.
Like if someone comes up to you and slap, like someone comes up to you and punches you in the face, like depending on the situation, like you can eat that. It may not even
spit out the
hurt.
blood and you
spit
look
out the
back.
blood, go about your business. But
right.
if someone slaps you, you gotta fight.
So let's
Like-
so let's do this. I'm gonna introduce the next news of the day because we're still on this fighting topic.
Right.
Travis Kelce, all right. He's been in several
From
altercations.
one fight to another.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
fight to
right.
another.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, coming off of a Super Bowl, coming off of an amazing offseason. This guy's been on Saturday Night Live. He's been on The Match,
He's
playing
been in
golf.
Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair. He's everywhere. That's what happens when you win a Super Bowl. That's what happens when you dress so fly. That's what happens when you're so cool. But now we're in training camp. The dog days. This is what we call the dog days, Ashley Nicole Moss. And he continues to get into fights with his teammates, right? So here's the update here, right? What do you guys see here? Who's wrong here? Is it Kelce or is it his teammates?
I think Kelce was wrong. But I think that if I'm putting myself in his shoes, it looks like to me that he thought the hit was late. Like,
Right.
Then that's why. Now it was an overreaction because he barely touched him.
Very much
like it was like me trying to tackle Brandon. Like
Right.
it's not gonna move you. Like so, I see that he felt it was a late hit, but it was a drastic overreaction. Like he barely
Right.
touched him.
I agree with
and
you
he
there.
punched him dead in the head.
I wish we had the other video because there
we
was
do. We do.
We do. Can we show the other video? Here's another
look at
one.
that.
This was the first one. Boom. Boom. There, everybody's doing their job, trying to get the ball up. Bang, 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 bang. So let me walk you guys through like what I believe is happening here. Okay. So Travis Kelce's in year 11, and now there's a conversation around him being potentially the greatest tight end that's ever played the game. That's better than Gronkowski, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, and so many other great tight ends. Okay. So he's coming off of a Super Bowl. He's that guy. He's that guy. What we saw at the end, play that last clip again, the last one. So this is the worst thing for a veteran player, right? We just want to catch the ball and run. This is how we get in shape in football season. Mid-season form is what we talk about. I want to catch the ball and I want to sprint 20 yards. Hell, I may even want to go to the end zone to really show the team that this is how you work. But when you grab us as pass catchers and you start doing all that punching stuff, it's the worst thing in the world. So what he's doing right here is saying enough's enough. I don't give a damn what your defensive coordinator is telling you guys to do because that's their assignment. They have to do this. They get marked, as a missed assignment if they don't do this. Get to the ball, okay? So a veteran player like this is coming out saying, I don't give a damn what your defensive coordinator is saying. It's what I am saying is who I am on this team. Don't do this to me. So he tried to make a statement, but he did it again. And to Ashley's point, the first video that we saw, which was actually the second incident, was an overreaction. What Travis Kelce is basically saying is, I'm him. You don't touch me. There's a different set of rules for me. Hell, he might as well have the yellow jersey on, Ashley, that Patrick Mahomes having. Don't touch me. I've been in so many camp fights or fights in practice because a guy's touching me. Don't touch me at all in practice. Okay, and so this was an overreaction, and now he's made a statement, Ashley, and moving forward, he won't do this. He won't have to do it because guess what? They won't touch him. They won't touch him.
Already did it. They don't want to see
They
those
out here
hands.
punching each other with helmets on. Be for real.
Hey, that hurts. I got a concussion once. I feel like dude hit me in the head in practice. I got in a fight just like this with
Punching
cornerback.
somebody with a helmet on,
It was
fighting
that
with
open
helmets
hand.
on is
It definitely
crazy.
doesn't feel good, right? I mean, like, Brandon,
It's
people say all the
like,
time, why
yo,
would you
take your
punch
helmet
somebody
off
with
and
a
let's
helmet on?
scrap. Like, why we fight with pads and
No,
helmets
it just
on? Be for
happened
It
real.
doesn't feel good, though. It doesn't feel good.
Real quick, let me tell y'all this story, Ashley. So D. Milner, cornerback in
I remember him.
practice.
Alabama.
Okay. So we're going after it. He's deemed a bust. And so now he's on the practice squad. He was a first-round draft pick. They said he was supposed to be the second coming of Darrell Revis, right?
Though.
So we're there in practice, and I'm trying to get a good look. Like, I'm going hard, right, in practice. He's not doing that. He's letting me catch the ball, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, bro, this ain't getting me ready for the game. And so I'm talking to him like this, like, come on, we got to go, we got to go. He doesn't listen. I said, bro, we need to go. I said, next play, like, let's go. So we go next play. I beat him. Too easy. He let me do it, right? Because he's mad. He don't want to practice. So I walk up to him, grab his face, and I'm like, so let's go. So now we tussling. The man came with like that Caleb Plant punch. Overhand, open hand left. Bam! Slap me. We still going after. I'm woozy now. I get into the city after practice. I leave. We leave. I'm so gone, Ashley. I'm walking around Tribeca for 2 hours, not knowing where the hell I was at.
Oh my God.
I was like, holy shit. This is the only concussion I've ever had.
So you were walking with a concussion.
Ashley, I got into the city. This is Friday practice, okay? So now we're out at 1:30. We call them Fast Fridays, okay? I'm downtown. I'm in Tribeca. I live in Tribeca. My normal routine, I go to Air Ancient Baths where I go do my floats and all of that, my massages, all of that stuff. Okay, I'm in convenience stores doing shit, eating candy. I'm walking around Tribeca. I'm totally gone, woozy, tripping over my feet. I'm like, this nigga just gave me a concussion. So yes, with the helmets on, you can still do some damage. I'm like,
Didn't LT say he used to slap people?
Oh my goodness.
The whole helmet, he used to just slap them.
Oh my goodness.
LT. And there was another.
They had to make it
banned
illegal.
that. That's how I would get open when I first got in the league. I'd be at the line of scrimmage. As soon as I come off, I'll just slap them in the helmet. Bam! Helmet flip this way.
Oh my God.
Helmet flip this way. they woozy. They don't know what's going on. I'm up the field catching a bomb.
I'm mad petty though, because I would be like the person on the team who like Kelsey punched me and then Brandon's whole thing is like, oh, now they know not to do it again. I'd keep doing it.
No, let
Yeah,
me
I'm
tell you why
starting
you
to
won't do
believe
it.
I would just keep
Ashley
doing
wanted
it to piss him off.
Let me
I'm
tell you
starting
why
to
you
believe
won't
Ashley
do
was
it.
a football player.
Let me
would
tell
be the worst football player ever.
Let me tell you why you won't do it.
Why?
It's Travis Kelce.
I don't care.
You will get cut. If you not,
For doing
if
my
you not
job?
her, if you're not her, him out there, okay, like you got to be on the other side. You got to be Sauce Gardner. You got to be the kid
so
out in
if I'm
Denver.
like the real deal.
Then you can do that.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
Then
just
you
to
can
piss
do
him
that.
off.
You can do that. But you saw this, the last one. Then we can move on to the next news of the day. Play.
That was like
Play one any of the clips. You'll
that
see
was like
the dudes
Devin
not even
Booker
respond.
being mad because they were double teaming him.
Watch
in practice.
their reaction.
Like,
You don't see nobody do anything back. Play them real quick,
'Cause that's
and then we can
weak.
move on to the news of the day.
I'd
Watch
poke
this
the
kid.
bear. Poke the bear. Poke it.
No, watch this kid. Watch his reaction. He don't do anything back. It's disrespectful. See, this is when you know the real rookies and who's gonna be who. Because the real goons, they will slap them back like it is what it is, and they get the respect of all the vets. Look at him. He ain't do nothing. Look at him. And
Yeah, a
sorry
little
for all the
push.
listeners
I
out
gotta
there.
talk face, man.
We're
Something.
on YouTube, so you guys can't see this part of the show, but you guys can hear. Show the next one, then we'll move on to the next topic of the day. They don't do anything. Look at it, Ashley. Look at this. Nobody do anything. Why? It's Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce needs to put on a quarterback jersey.
Like the entire
They're not doing anything.
defense.
He ain't even swing back.
Cook trying to break it up, but
Cook's like, Travis, calm down, Travis.
Yeah.
Calm down, Travis.
I can see Ashley out there
I would be
as a
I-
rookie
I would,
doing that.
I would poke the bear.
You would get respect
Yo,
from the
Ashley in
vets
pads
too.
is
I'd
crazy.
poke the bear. This is practice. We in pads and helmets.
Right.
What's up? Like we playing flag football, powder puff
Sometimes that
football.
adds a spark to practice.
You
right?
want to
like a little scuffle.
last time I checked, this was the NFL. You
Right.
want to, I don't care if you the second coming of Jesus, you getting hit, boy.
You can't say boy that. Well, okay, well, yes, I guess you can. They got on Caleb Plant. Boy.
I forgot to mention that. I kind of felt away when he was like, boy. I'm like,
Well, that's a little. But if it's like,
little weird.
if I'm a white guy and you're a white guy, like I can
yeah.
do that.
But it
want to give him the
he was talking
southern
to
hospitality, but it's
Jamal.
like,
Well, that's different. But I'm saying if I'm talking in the Travis Kelce situation,
Oh,
if I'm
yeah.
a white guy and you're a white guy, and I say boy, like what? That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't. Boys shouldn't even
boys,
be made.
that's just
I don't know.
belittling.
What if
Boy
I'm
is
from the deep
belittling.
south? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's even worse.
That's
If
like
you
a
put
slap.
Peeps out. What do you
I
Boy
say?
guess,
is slap.
I
It's
guess.
like right
Yeah,
there.
say
So a
boy.
verbal slap, huh?
Yeah.
So Brandon Marshall here, Ashley Nicole Moss, Corey in the cut, Woo out west, BC in the back, who you guys never see, which would
My dog on the shoulder and the shots, Chris.
You ready? Oh my goodness! Can we hear? We can't hear you. Oh my goodness! BC in the back. We can't hear you, man. I'm glad we didn't know his video was gonna come up. We've been working on that.
We still working it
The
through.
audio we can't hear from him, but then we also have Manderville, who you'll never see. This is Paper Route presented by I Am Athlete. We're also on SiriusXM for all of our listeners. Okay, Channel 103 Faction Talk. What's the next news of the day?
So we got free agent running back Dalvin Cook visiting the New York Jets over the weekend. I know, Brandon, you wanted to kind of lay out.
He got a round of applause from the crowd, too.
Yeah, how that went for him.
Yeah, so really quickly, the running back market is at the forefront of a lot of football talk right now. What's going on? There's a lot of storylines. Saquon Barkley, that's died down. He signed the deal. Not a great deal in my eyes, but he's back there and balling in camp. You have Josh Jacobs, who still hasn't signed his tag. And he was in Las Vegas, left Las Vegas last week, said that he may show up for week 1. Who knows what's going to happen there? And then you have Ezekiel Elliott still in the streets. And hell, you saw Ezekiel Elliott and Mac Jones out to lunch. They didn't look like they were having a great time.
Can we just talk about that photo real quick? Right. Do we have the picture?
Pull it. Let's bring it back.
Okay. That photo was so awkward to me. First of all, they're sitting on the same side of the table.
Right.
I don't think I saw this one.
Like, it's not even like Zeke's across from him and Mac's like on the other side and they're looking at each other and they're having a conversation. Yeah, they're literally on the same side of the table. There's nobody across from them.
Okay, that's
and
good.
it's just kind of like, are y'all like looking at each other like side to like? How are you? They don't even look like they are. And the crazier part of it. Hold on, let me set the scene while we pull the picture. You have a picture?
Who was he with?
So Mac Jones. Ezekiel Elliott and Mac Jones.
So I'm gonna set the scene while we pull this picture up. So this is the table, right? And Mac Jones is here.
Get your mic.
Okay, Mac Jones is here. And then Zeke is right next to him on the same side of the table. It's a nice restaurant, like white tablecloths, looks like a steakhouse or something like that. They're both on the same side of the table. But what's even crazier about the photo is Zeke is like looking in one direction. And then Mac Jones is like this.
You know what that
dead straight is? Looking out the window. Zeke's, and I'm like, how is a conversation even happening at this dinner table right now? Like, you guys aren't even like making eye contact. You're all on the same side of the table. It was a very odd configuration. It looked like they were forced to be.
It looked like a picture like of a couple. When you're out and you see the couple just sitting there. It's like a couple that's uncomfortable and, the relationship's over.
No, a couple would at least be across from each other.
No, sometimes you sit on the same side, but usually it is across from each other, but like it's so awkward. Have you ever dated someone and you just been out to dinner and there was nothing to talk about? Is that not the most awkward situation you could be in a relationship in public, huh?
That's actually never happened to me.
Wait.
Really?
No, I'm a conversationalist, though. I can always find something to talk about.
Wait, so real quick, are you guys, when you're in a relationship, same side or opposite side type people?
I'm both.
Opposite side.
It depends.
I like to look at the person. I like to see their face. And I don't want to and now if we're out with other people, same side.
So for me,
yeah.
For me, Ashley, Corey, it's if it's just us and it's date night, across. But if it's casual, right, like even like a lunch date, I'm on the same side because I want to touch on my lady.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Under the tape.
No, what's going on, Ashley?
You can touch under the table.
Play footsies?
You never played footsies?
Come on now.
Ashley, you took your foot and just like rubbed it up and down his leg.
I'm sure. Listen. Our regulars.
Look, there's a picture. Look.
Yeah, that's weird.
And they're facing like the parking lot.
Maybe they're expecting more people. That look like Zeke's dad. Is that Zeke's dad? Maybe there's more people coming. They're expecting more.
Yeah, like what if people went to the bathroom?
Yeah,
and they just took the photo.
We're gonna have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
So listen really quickly, Ashley. For our regulars and the people that come back consistently, they kind of know who you are.
Okay.
For those who are chiming in now, shout out to everybody tuning in the paper route. Big numbers today. Do you want to let them know, maybe show a little bit of your personality? You talked about being under the table. Like, you want to give us any stories of anything?
No, I'm not having stories. You can look at somebody, you can like hold hands, you can play footsies as Corey referred to it, just a little, like, hey, But I don't know, the same side's a little like, I don't know, same side for me is weird if it's not like a group of people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if it's just us, I feel like you want to like look at the person, you don't want to be across. But if it's like a group of people, I want to sit on the same side. But I've never done that.
Me and Ralph say, Ashley like Prada. I don't want to hear any excuses. Hold on, what else they saying? The women's team.
Why does Prada get into the mix? What does that mean? I cannot be bought, sir.
All right, here we go. All right, let's get back to this Dalvin Cook visiting with the New York Jets over the weekend. We got off track a little bit here because we talked about the running backs, that which led to Ezekiel Elliott and this awkward picture and this awkward conversation. But Dalvin Cook, this past week, I think it was Friday, went on a media tour, did a bunch of podcasts and shows, virtual, and also went into Good Morning Football in studio, and he was pretty much selling himself and where he's at. And I think he's doing a phenomenal job of getting the best out of this market and his situation. So he's in New York, and he visited all weekend, but we need to note that there's also 2 teams in play, right? And I think a lot of us know one, and that's the Miami Dolphins, his hometown team. He's from South Florida. Yes, he wants to play for the Miami Dolphins. There's also the Patriots.
So
him coming out talking, him being courted around the media over the past couple of days, to me, is him and his team doing a phenomenal job of creating the market. So that's the update on Dalvin Cook. I think we may have
I feel like the Miami Dolphins would be weird. They're set in their running back situation. Like, I just don't see how that would be beneficial to them at all. Like, I mean, let me rephrase.
At all?
Let me rephrase. Not beneficial. I don't see it as a necessity for them. I don't see it as like something that is they don't need it. Now, if they had it, could they use it? Sure. I mean, it's Dalvin Cook. I just don't see why you would go through that for something is not a necessity to your team. You're set there. You're good.
Well, can you pull up the Miami Dolphins depth chart, their running back depth chart?
I know it off the top of my head. We
Oh,
got Raheem
yeah.
Mostert.
Okay, Corey Flynn.
Who you have?
Well, I mean, I know the top 2 running backs.
He's
that
a
we
Dolphin.
have, Raheem
Who do you
Mostert and
have?
Jeff Wilson. So, and those are 2. They're 2 solid backs.
Jeff
so
who?
It's a good Jeff Wilson. He came from the 49ers.
I don't know nothing about him.
He came. Well, he's familiar with the
The Dolphins have like 75
I can tell you their entire
running
running
backs.
back roster right
but-
now.
But,
They're
go ahead.
Devon Connie,
the guy we drafted.
Salvon, Ahmed,
It don't
Chris
matter.
Brooks.
Save your breath. It
Okay,
doesn't matter.
I got
After the
you.
top 2, it doesn't
Raheem,
matter.
That's probably the biggest one. Raheem.
Yeah,
Mostert.
but think about it. Go look at his number. I like Raheem Morris, right? Like
Mostert, yeah.
Mostert, excuse me. Some say he's one of the fastest guys in the NFL.
Fastest
And if you
running
look at some of his production when he was with the 49ers, dude can go.
Yeah.
Right? And so they have that relationship
Who's
because
the other
Coach was
guy?
there as
Jeff
well.
Wilson?
Jeff Wilson.
I don't know. Nobody knows him. Nobody on here can tell me they know
He was a
Jeff
system guy.
Wilson.
He was a
Nobody
system
know.
guy.
But
Jeff
tell me,
Wilson Jr.
what school did
Yeah.
he go to? I say this. The reason why I
North
say this is
Texas.
because Dalvin Cook on that roster is the best running back.
Yeah.
And now you look at how explosive that offense is. You can never have enough weapons. You got Chosen, formerly known as Robbie Anderson. He's new. Nobody's talking about him. You got Waddle, and still you have the Cheetah, right? The tight end. And then you add him. That's scary.
I hear what you're saying. I'm not negating that. I think obviously Dalvin Cook is better than the guys that we just mentioned. That's obvious. But you have 2 really solid running backs. Like for a team that has a lot of receiving options, which means they're going to be a pass first offense anyway. So I just don't see why, although you can utilize him, I don't see why it would be a necessity for the Dolphins to go after him. You're not going to be able to get him for cheap. It's not like it's not going to cost you. So why would you not stick with the solid that you do have, the foundation you do have,
'Cause you going
and leave
for it.
him to a team that actually needs him? The Jets
They're
just
going-
restructured Aaron Rodgers' deal. They can afford to pay this man. Like, why would you even go after that?
Because this is my thinking. If you look at all their moves, bringing in their defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, paying him top dollar, bringing in Jalen Ramsey, who's now going to be on IR until the end of the season because of the knee injury that he sustained last week in camp, right? If you look, bringing in Chosen, if you look at their moves they made this offseason, it tells you that they're going for the Super Bowl right now, and they think this is their window, okay? So for that reason, if you have it, why not? Because you look at even when we're talking about the running back,
need?
but Ashley, those other guys,
They got
they can't
50
even
of 'em.
compare.
Pick
yeah,
one.
but even if one of them goes down, now you
Then
know what
you
I'm
got
saying. You got
49
depth.
left.
You want depth. You're adding depth to a championship team. To me, it's a great move.
I don't know. I just see it. It's just excessive. I don't see it
Because it's the same thing with Breece Hall Jess, did I say, is it right? Brees Hall?
Yeah,
Bryce?
that's it.
Y'all know
No, that's
it's
Brees.
Brees.
It's Brees.
Because I'm gonna tell y'all right. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. This might be one of the reasons why I never got invited to the booth. Because I ain't saying nobody's name right. Ever. But anyways, like even the Jets, they got a nice running back. Dalvin ain't going to the Jets and starting over Brees.
I'll tell you.
No.
You don't think
No. He ain't gonna be RB1. No.
Well, the only reason I feel like the only
Brandon.
Over Brees. Come on, we're talking about Dalvin.
That was okay.
Somebody with some experience.
Yeah, like come on now.
Okay.
He's
got 1
He'll
year.
regret that statement like later today. Come on. We talking about Dalvin Cook.
I know that's just tough. I just don't think from a chemistry continuity standpoint, right? Like you do that, right? Like
I get
this
what
is the
you're saying,
younger running back, obviously coming off a big injury, but you could potentially lose the locker room there. I think you do that out of respect. And you do that from a leadership standpoint, like you leave him at RB1. Because if he didn't get hurt, Dalvin Cook went for 1,100 yards last year.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy could have went for 1,500 last year.
I agree.
He's that type of running back. So let's understand his potential. So for me, it comes into partnership. Like, look, you're going to be our running back to start it off, 1-2. Then we're going to, you know what I'm saying, rotate. And so it's more about partnership. Hell, maybe there might be some games Dalvin come in there, but if I'm the head coach, I'm looking at Dalvin like, look, bro, we're going to go win a Super Bowl. Chemistry continuity is important, making sure all our guys feel right. Brees has been here all offseason, working his ass off, coming back.
Do you think they care? like
He's a running back.
She's a savage.
We're talking about the running back position, which is already a disrespected position in the NFL.
Big time.
You have an option to have Dalvin Cook, and you think that they're going to say to somebody who's had a few good games and is coming off of an injury,
That's what I'm thinking of.
no, you know what? You've been here longer. Yes, we
you.
have Dalvin Cook, but he's not going to start before you because you're our guy and you put in the work. They don't care. They don't.
Maybe a
It's
quarterback.
the best man for the job.
Maybe a wide
Honestly
receiver.
speaking, I think they'll take it the way Brandon put it out. I think maybe they'll, out of respect.
And they're still going to start him anyway.
Out of respect, they'll keep Hall maybe there for week 1, week 2. And they'll split carries. But then I think, come on, I think you got to give it to Dalvin Cook. But to your point, Brees Hall did show some promise next year. And who knows what he's capable of. We'll see this year.
I think the only way I'm leaning towards him going to the Jets. I think the only way that the Dolphins will go after him is to just keep him from the Jets.
Yeah. Well, I want to push the conversation forward because there's another running back I want to
Just a
talk
very
about.
we don't need him, but you can't have him. Mentality.
I hear you.
They do that in basketball all the time, by the way.
But let me respond
You
to
wanna say
Ashley real
something
quick
else?
before
Okay.
you
They
go
do
on.
that
I
in
will say this.
basketball all of the
Ashley,
time.
Sound like
listen,
relationships.
I talk about it from a business standpoint all the time. They don't care, and so Ashley, I feel like you're right, but in the locker room, I think it changes a little bit, right? In this situation, the head coach, this is where Coach Robert Saleh has to really be savvy because, okay, we got our guys in. You got to get them to buy into the whole system and the whole plan, right? So, like, this is where there could be a little disconnect between ownership, management, and coaching. The coach got to keep all 53 together. So, you at the end of the day, you are right? Like, I gotta say that. Like, they don't care.
They don't give a damn.
They care about wins. They care about bottom lines. That's what it is. So.
Well, before we move on, I think if I saw it correctly, there was a super chat thing that came in. Woo, Corey, somebody want to read that?
Yeah, I see it here. You want me to read
go
it?
ahead.
This is from RSF Morrow. I'm a huge supporter of this channel, and I'm a prime piece of the paper chasers. So to B. Marsh, Ash, and Corey, make sure y'all mention him when y'all giving y'all glory to the chat. 100. Love my host.
Who is it?
This is RSF Morrow.
That's a tongue twister for me.
RSF Morrow.
I respect
RSF
it. Thank you so
Morrow.
much for your support and love you so much. Let's put you on the list to send out some t-shirts when we get some new merch. Take care of you. But that's a tongue twister for me.
RSF Morrow?
Boy, he wasn't
RSF
lying
Morrow.
if he was in that booth.
Say it again.
RSF Morrow.
RSF Morrow.
Uh-huh.
That's
I would
tough.
love to see you broadcast again.
Because like if I'm speaking fast, right? Think about this.
He would be
we got
like
Christy
Kendrick
O, we got
Perkins.
Pamela, we
Bam,
got Go
out of the
St. Patrick,
bayou.
RSF Morrow, like B Morale, like that might be a tough one for me.
Yeah. Well, these are
He
also
would be a broadcaster like Shaq or Charles Barkley or Kendrick Perkins. Whenever Kendrick Perkins does a Miami Heat game, He goes, Bam out of the bayou.
I never heard that.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins cannot say Bam out of bayou.
Let me tell you.
He'll say Bam out of the bayou.
Yeah.
No, I lean into it. Let me tell y'all what I already do. It's like I'll be here, right? Boom, I can Bam out of the bayou or Tua Tonga Vailoa, whatever. I'll be like, Ashley, what's his name? I'll say that on live TV. Ashley, what's his name? You know I'm gonna mess that up. You gotta lean into
That's
it.
why I would love to see it.
Right. So, all right, that was good feedback there. So RSF Morrow, got it.
Yeah.
And he's a Cowboys fan, so how about them boys?
Is he?
Ooh,
Or them girls.
let's see where the Cowboys are. We doing the NFC,
Dumb fan
AFC
says what?
playoff picture later?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that a little later. But yeah, no, I want to get into this conversation though, right? So Jonathan Taylor actually over the weekend requested a trade from the Indianapolis Colts. But what I'm gonna do is kind of just go over really the timeline events leading up into this point. So we can go all the way back to when the running back conversation really just came about, and we saw all of the running backs really come together after Saquon Barkley kind of went through his struggles with the Giants initially before he signed his deal. But Jonathan Taylor was one of those running backs that kind of was at the forefront, really just speaking on the running back market. Mm-hmm. And it was last week when Colts owner Jim Irsay kind of came out and said, hey, listen, all of this, all the narrative that the running backs are, not that one, but it was when he had said that the running backs, it's inappropriate that they're complaining about the current CBA. So there's been just a lot of friction between Jonathan Taylor, of course, and the Colts organization. And then it was, I believe it was Friday, this news came about Friday, that Jonathan Taylor now is requesting a trade from the Indianapolis Colts. So according to Stephen Holder, Jim Irsay and management, they're saying that right now they're not looking for any, particular trade packages. But if they were to trade Jonathan Taylor, they would need an early round draft pick in return. So I want to stay here right now. Like, do you think, do you respect his decision, to request a trade and want out of Indianapolis? What do you think is going to happen next with Jonathan Taylor?
Can we go back to that quote for a second?
Yeah, because this is also.
I just want to make sure I read that correctly.
No, you read it. And I was going to get to that a little bit later, but this is also some of his comments, with everything transpiring this week and him requesting a trade. So this is actually what Irsay said. I'll read it out loud. If I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor is out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. We know that. The National Football League rolls on. It doesn't matter who comes and goes, and it's a privilege to be a part of it. Those was Irsay's comments just regarding really Jonathan Taylor in this whole situation. This is a real quote from him.
Is that a real quote?
That is a real quote.
That's a real quote.
From the Colts owner, Jim Irsay. So yeah, it's a lot to unpack here.
Okay,
it's a lot.
well, first of all, this man has a family outside of football who I'm sure who will miss him if he were to die. But that's just such like an extreme way of like saying what you really want to say, and that is, I own you, do what I tell you to do. Like, I would have more respect for him if he would have just came out and said that. This whole like, if I die tonight and he's out the league, no one's gonna miss us. Maybe no one would miss you, but like, I'm sure people would miss him.
Right.
But that's how they think.
It's just such a plantation mentality.
Thank you.
Like, it's such a plantation, just like, you are my property. You do what I tell you to do. Don't think unless I tell you to do it. Don't breathe unless I tell you to do it. Don't want better for yourself unless I tell you that you want better for yourself. Like, just say what you want. This whole roundabout way of like saying, oh, well, it's a privilege to be here. No, just say what it is. I own you, and you don't make a move unless I tell you to make it. Like, I'd have more respect for that. All of that rest of that is a bunch of chit chat and ridiculousness. I'm not even like whatever. It's ridiculous.
So before you tee us up again, Corey, I want to respond to what Ashley just said. Okay, Brandon, why you play for 6 teams? Brandon, what happened here? What happened there? It's exactly this. He just showed us not only how he thinks, but how all 32 owners think and how they operate. And this is why I'd be so frustrated with our players when we buy into this whole team thing. When we buy into this whole, I want to be a Colt for life. I want to be a Bear for life. Look, it is a privilege. It is an honor, right, to be in the NFL, but it's also a privilege and an honor to have an opportunity to be around the Jerry Rices and Tom Brady's of the world, because they're the ones that's helping you create this wealth and building your damn organizations. That's going to stand 50, 100 years after they leave. So you always got to pay homage, and you always got to respect the people who built this product. But us players, we go out there And we get so caught up into this whole team thing, like we're institutionalized, and the way we're like manipulated to think that we got to put them first. No, the only thing that matters at the end of the day is the name on your back. Point blank, period. I'm sorry, fans. I'm sorry. Marshall means more to me than fucking Indianapolis Colts. Marshall means more to me than Chicago Bears. And that respect needs to be, given on both sides. Right? But when you come out and you say these type of things and you do this, like, I don't see how any player can respect it. Right? So that's why you always got to do what's best for you. And Jonathan Taylor is doing what's best for him. So there's a lot that we shown there from the Athletic article and then from, his quotes over the weekend and what Jonathan Taylor is saying here. So like what I would say is, Jonathan Taylor probably he handled the one part wrong, right? Because we talk about athletes having leverage over their bodies. Like, okay, cool. The deadline's July 17th. We missed the deadline. We didn't do a long-term deal. So now I have to report we can't negotiate a long-term deal until after this year. Cool. What else can I do? I cannot play. I cannot show up. You can hold in. You can hold out. He chose to hold in, but where he went wrong is this. He showed up with it. My back is this, or I'm injured here. What he should have did is came on the first day. I told y'all this story a week or two ago about how I showed up after signing a big deal with the Miami Dolphins, had a tear in my hip. After a week of practice, said, oh, my hip. I think there's a tear in there. Boom. A week later, I'm getting surgery. He should have showed up, Ashley, went through a couple things and said, I'm hurt. I'm not feeling well. And now the hold in is in his control. Yep. Because now what they're saying is, right, and this is where he start tweeting, the Colts is considering taking him off of PUP, which is physically unable to perform list. Okay, it's a designation, a roster designation, and moving him to NFI. That is non-football injury. Mm-hmm. Okay, why does that matter? Why is that significant? PUP is something where they designate for players who hurt themselves before camp. You're protected. You're on that for 6 weeks, then you can come off. You're good with your money. When you're on NFI lists, okay, non-football injury, they can now play with your money or take your money. That's why in our contracts that we sign, you snowboarding, you hurt yourself playing basketball. That's what that list is. Mm-hmm. So now that's what they're doing, right? And so, Ashley, I say this, and this is why I've been saying this even around the Saquon thing. This is where guys get uncomfortable and they break. It's getting messy. It's getting uncomfortable for both sides. And now let's see where it goes.
Yeah. Anything to add there, Ashley, before we move on?
No, I mean, I think that it just, everything Brandon said is factual. And I think that this is, why even when players get their deals and, people think that it's all going to be fine and dandy and let bygones be bygones, I'm a firm believer that the true character of somebody is shown to you when things aren't in the best situation. What I mean by that is it's easy for someone to be kind and considerate and loyal and trustworthy when things are sweet. But it's when shit hits the fan that you see the true character of somebody, how they deal with you, how they interact with you. And I think time and time again, we are shown in the NFL particularly, because I think that the NBA and the MLB are so much further along in progression, with their leagues in the NFL the NFL continues to have a slave mentality. And they give the players scraps and compare to what the owners are making. But even besides that, I think that you see the true way that a lot of these owners and these organizations view players and view athletes in situations like this. That comment was disgusting. Yeah. That comment had underlining tones of racism, of superiority, of just prejudice. Like, if you read between the lines, he's saying exactly what he feels, but he's trying to sugarcoat it. Mm-hmm. And that is, I own you, do what I tell you to do. Because you're making X amount of money, you should be grateful for that. It's a privilege to play for my team. It's a privilege, as if you shouldn't want more for yourself, you shouldn't want more for your family. And as if wanting those things makes you a bad person, makes you a bad individual, makes you not a team player. It's this sick like reverse psychology that has always existed, that if you want more for yourself, you're a bad teammate. You're a bad locker room guy. You're not grateful to be here. You're not grateful to be the 1% that makes it to the NFL. And the two are not related ideologies. And it's comments like that make you realize, as far as the league has progressed, it's still antiquated in the way that it thinks. And there's nothing you can do to change people's minds like that. The only thing that you can do is what the Commanders have done, and that is they now have an owner of Magic Johnson, a part owner, who comes from a different community, who comes from a different cultural background, and can go ahead and change that organization from the inside out. That's the only way to change the minds and the hearts of these owners, because there's more of him than there are of Magic Johnson.
Right, and that's why they say, equity, representation, all that matters, right? Because you need someone at the table that can, represent, a different group outside of the majority in whatever setting. This is actually why I, started my little soundbite by talking about, Brandon Marshall this, Brandon Marshall that, because, this is the mindset, right? He's showing us this, and I said that, right, where it's like that one, throw the quote back up. There's one little sentence, there's one little part that, I really want to dive into. The quote, Jim Irsay, right? All right, so cool. If I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor's out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. We know that, right? The National Football League rolls on. It doesn't matter who comes and who goes, and it's a privilege to be a part of it, right? So actually there's two parts. The league goes on. That's a big deal, right? Who comes and goes, it doesn't matter who comes and who goes. They cut Peyton Manning, all right? They traded Tom Brady, all right? Think about some of our greats that they were forced to retire, even coaches. That's how those owners think. So I want to highlight this to really to speak to the athlete again. This is why we have to be selfish. We are taught, and selfish at the table in business, not on the football field, not in the locker room. That's when you embrace team. But what happens is they take that type of thinking, that type of mindset, team, selflessness, and they take it to the table. Oh, but what about your team? What about this and the salary? I don't give a damn about that. It's about business right now. And that's when we need to be selfish, because that's how they think. They don't care. So if you don't fight for yourself, then who's going to fight for you? Even your team, Ashley, your tackle, Zach Martin. Mm-hmm. What did Jerry Jones come out and say this weekend?
Loosely, he basically said that there's other positions that require, to be paid, and Zach Martin has been paid handsomely through his time with the Dallas Cowboys, and that if he doesn't show up, that there will be severe repercussions to that.
And the reason why I brought that up, because he said, yes, words. That's exactly what he said. And then he also spoke specifically to the person he wanted to pay and got to pay, Micah Parsons. He said, I got to pay Micah Parsons, right? But what does that have to do with Zach Martin? He's been one of the best centers in the league for a long time. And yes, that's his value. That's the market. He should be paid that way. He should be compensated. The market has changed for that type of guy. So you want to talk about privilege? It's a privilege to have that type of center leading your offensive line and protecting your biggest investment in Dak Prescott, right? So my thing is this: pay him or trade him, because when you talk about business, all right, it's not fair to have Zach Martin, not paid as one of the greatest offensive linemen, which he is as far as active today.
But again, that goes back to slave is not the right word, because slaves weren't paid and they were treated absolutely disgustingly and inhumanely. It's more of oppression. It's more of oppression with money. So it's an economic oppression, if you will. It's making someone stay in an environment that they know that they deserve more in, out of the desire to make X amount of money.
That's right.
And making sure that they feel grateful for getting X amount of money, even if X amount of money is not it does not equal their worth.
Yeah.
It's making you feel, well, you're getting paid $25 million, and $25 million is a lot of money, but $25 million may not be a lot of money when you're worth 50. but it's making you feel like, oh, you think you can get 25 elsewhere? Go ahead and look for it. And as we've seen in the NFL, it's depending on the position, you're not going to get that 50 elsewhere. So you're almost stuck taking what you deserve less than.
Yeah.
Because you don't have another option. That's the definition of oppression.
And it's so sophisticated and it's so robust, right? Because here's the breakdown here. Like, I believe in, like, the owners being able to say, no, I'm not going to pay you. What I don't believe in is if another team is willing to pay me my value, then you should let me go. If I'm not happy here.
If that other team is willing to pay the value. That's the biggest if.
100%. But guys like Zach Martin, there is. Now, the Saquon Barkleys of the world, Josh Jacobs of the world, I don't think they'll get what they deserve, but I think another team will give them more than $10.1 million, right? So the market is greater if they actually hit an open market. So I'm okay with the owners, you know, being savvy and negotiating hard, bargaining hard. I believe in that. But what's not fair is the oppressiveness of, like, look, I own you. Like, you know, I control all of this. And this is where it gets, Ashley, robust and very sophisticated. Because we talk about collusion we talk about collusion on the show sometimes, right? So what's happening is this. They're
in contact with those other teams.
That's right. So they control the market, right? So even if you go back to Jonathan Taylor, you know, more of that conversation, I think someone came out and said from the Colts organization, I don't know if it was the owner or the general manager, that, like, look, if we do, they said they're not trading him, not even October during a trade deadline. But then there was something that came out. You said it earlier, Corey, in our production meeting, like, well, we will, if we do trade him, then we want a high pick.
An early first round, yeah.
Okay, so boom. Here you go. Here they go. They talk about the market and value. Okay, so the running back market right now is, we're not going any long-term deals, but then it's $10 million, right? So now we go out there and the market for a running back might be a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick. That's the market. Let them go. If a team steps up and says, here's 3 to 4 million. But what they're now saying is, we're still going to control you. This is the oppressiveness where now I want a 1st round pick or a 2nd round pick. That's not the market. You can't have your cake and eat it too, owners. You can't. That's where it gets really complex for players.
It's also interesting to me how and when they're willing to take that gamble. Like, okay, for example, you pay a Daniel Jones without even thinking twice about it. But you won't pay the intricate part of your offense, your intricate part of your quarterback safety, that you're holding your purse tight and not willing to write that check. It's backwards. Same thing with Dak Prescott. You know that Zach Martin is an intricate, if not the most important part of Dak Prescott's success. You know that his health throughout the entire season relies on if you have that guy protecting him.
And it's not even just protecting him. It's also he's out there making sure that they're making the right calls. 55's the mic and slide here.
He is the nucleus of that offense.
Right.
He is the guy who goes ahead and makes sure everyone is where they need to be when they're supposed to be there, so that the quarterback can go ahead and do his job, which is to help this team win football games. You know that a lot rides on Zach Martin, who top 3 in the NFL at his position. And you don't go ahead and try your very best. I understand you're running a business and there's numbers and there's X's and O's and people got to get paid, people got to eat. Get that. But you don't go ahead and even vocalize to the public. Don't even vocalize to the public. Zach Martin's an intricate part of this offense. We will do whatever we have to do with that is within our economic availability to keep him happy and to keep him a Dallas Cowboy. Right. No, you go out there and say, you know what? If he doesn't show up, there's repercussions. Everyone has to get paid. He's been paid handsomely. Man. Like, it's just a backwards way of dealing with things. Because you know what? It makes no sense to me.
And listen, and this is why
that's the last person you want disgruntled, bro. He protects your quarterback. Like,
but this is why I talk about athletes, getting uncomfortable. Because how we should respond to that, if I'm Zach Martin, I actually say, okay, cool. I come in and I hold in. You don't want to pay me? You want to make those comments? My back hurt. I can't, but don't do it like Jonathan Taylor. Don't do it somewhere else and then come in and say my back hurt. No, you come in, take a couple snaps, maybe go in the weight room, put 500 on the bar. My back, my neck and my back. My neck and my back. And now you sit there and you get your money and they going to be pissed off every day. Everybody in the building uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And that's how you put the name on your back first over this damn logo.
And then you know what happens when everyone in the building's uncomfortable? Then now you got to hear QB1's mouth.
That's right.
Like, where the hell is my protection going to the season?
Preach.
We got 2 weeks left before week 1, and you still haven't paid my guy. You trying to kill me?
Gotta get.
I'm 30 years old. You want me out there getting beat the hell up every single time I have the ball in my hand? You better pay him. You better go ahead and pay him. Mm-hmm. Like, I need him.
I just want to read the exact quote, because I think it's far more fierce than we've been saying, which is
there's
a lot of consequences.
I was loosely saying it,
Yeah, there's a lot of consequences if he doesn't. We all know that those are, he's a great player, had a great career. He's speaking of him in past tense.
Yes, Jerry, you know what the consequences are if you don't go ahead and pay Zach Martin? Your quarterback, you risk your quarterback's health every single time he steps to the line of scrimmage.
Well, this could be genius.
Crazy?
Well, this could be genius by Jerry Jones. Hold on, let me back up a little bit. Let's slow down. Now we have one owner coming out, which I think he's kind of creating distractions and maybe a little conflict in his locker room. Okay. And then players from afar may be looking at it like, why would I go there in free agency? And that's Jim Irsay for the Colts. Mm-hmm. Okay, Jonathan Taylor situation. Now in the Cowboy situation, Ashley, maybe we need to look at it this way. They've been negotiating all offseason. Because if you look at, the timeline, Zach Martin, he didn't really participate in the offseason program because they've been going back and forth. Mm-hmm. So they've been working on this. Maybe it's to the point now where they're like, you know what? It's time to move on. To Woo's, what Woo just highlighted for us, the entire quote, talking about him in past tense. Maybe this is Jerry Jones saying, you know what? I'm investing in Micah Parsons. Okay. Did I say it right? Mm-hmm. Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, he just got his bag, his 97 million. Mm-hmm. And Zach, hey guys, I'm open for business. It's time to trade him. He ain't come out like Jim Irsay and say, I'm not trading him.
I'm sorry. If that's the case, then Jerry Jones needs to go ahead and step down from any type of business dealings with the Dallas Cowboys like today.
Why?
Because that isn't Micah Parsons isn't protecting your quarterback.
Yeah, but
Trayvon Diggs isn't protecting your quarterback.
Ashley, we don't know.
You need to win football games, and you need to win football games with QB1. But you cannot do that if your guard,
your center
is not there.
Right.
Who's protecting your quarterback? You gonna put Micah there?
But maybe they have other play. Maybe they like.
They don't.
Maybe they like their second center.
He's top 3, if not the best center in the NFL. Yeah. You don't replace that in the middle of training camp. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna open up
because I ain't singling you out, but I'm gonna open up to Corey, Woo, and BC. Mm-hmm. I don't know if BC's audio and the chat. Y'all get involved here. What's Joe Burrow's center's name?
No clue.
What's
He's not top. He's not number one. He's not number one in the NFL.
Hold on. Watch this. What's Patrick Mahomes' center's name?
Still don't know.
We don't know. That's what I'm saying, Ashley. Patrick Mahomes made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Yeah. They're damn near about to walk into a dynasty, and they ain't got no Zach Martin. So they can still get it done without having a top 3 center.
Zach Martin, but I'm not tripping. Zach Martin's a guard, not a center.
Isn't he a guard?
I'm pretty sure he's a guard.
I heard center.
I think he was a center converted to a guard, right?
I'm pretty sure he's a guard.
Ashley probably right. That's her team.
Yeah. I mean, both of y'all was right because he was a center at one point in his career, though.
Okay,
so.
Ashley.
Yeah, it says he's a guard.
Thank you. I know I'm not tripping. Mm-hmm. I was like, he's not a center.
You better know your team.
I'm like, he's definitely a guard. Like,
you better know your team.
I'm like, y'all tell me he's a center. I'm like, that does not sound right. Like,
I would have took your player's card if you got that wrong.
No, I'm letting you tell me he's a center. I'm like, that doesn't sit right with my spirit.
Really quickly, guys, I know we got some other things to talk about. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Ashley Nicole Moss, Brandon Marshall, Corey in the cut, Woo Out West, and also BC in the booth. Sirius XM Faction Talk Channel 103. We love you guys. Your feedback is critical for us. Oh no, I don't need that. I don't know what they talking about. But before we move on, I wanted to say this. I'm watching our show here, so because I'm reading the chat, but there's this ad that popped up, and you have Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. I think they're fighting
this weekend.
It's this weekend?
You still have ads on your YouTube? Ghetto.
Well, you got the premium?
Heck yeah.
So you pay?
Well, my cousin does, and I'm on his account, but still.
So you don't pay.
It doesn't matter. I still have premium YouTube.
No, we need those ads. Ads is what's paying us, right? That's why we need that audience to continue to grow. Keep them. Don't skip the ads. Let the ads run. More money for automatically. But so Woo, can you? I know this. Sorry, Corey, this wasn't produced. Really quickly, this fight is this weekend. Maybe we talk about it Wednesday, Thursday. But how do you see this happening?
So there's been a lot of talk because I'm a big MMA guy. So Diaz comes from MMA. A lot of talk around Jake Paul's like actual physical size compared. But the thing is, we got to also remember like Diaz is a dog. So like Diaz, he'll sit there and just get a bloody face and just keep going. But it's also a different sport. Right. So I'm kind of up in the air, but I hate to say this, but I kind of got to go with Jake Paul. He's been whooping all these MMA fighters.
Jake lost to freaking what's his Fury? What's his name?
Tommy?
Tommy Fury. Yes.
Come on.
He got a 6-1 record right now.
Yeah, he messed up the money. He got to get his career back on track here. How do you lose the Fury?
I know.
How you lose the Fury? Anyways, you got that. Y'all might not be interested in this. I didn't know it was this weekend. I'll be tuned in. Ashley, I think you should watch it. It's not going to compare to what we just saw in Bud Crawford.
I'm not watching that.
Ashley, it's going to be interesting. Jake Paul, he's it's entertaining just from an entertainment standpoint. If you have nothing else to do, but I'm sure you have something to do. If you follow Ashley on her social media accounts, her handles, Twitter, Instagram, you're always going to see some type of picture on the weekend of her in some type of restaurant with some outfit on.
I like restaurants. I know you're not talking about you're fresh from Vegas. Like, what are we even doing right now?
Business trip.
Right. Oh, okay. That's what we're calling them nowadays. Okay, sure.
Where were you at? What restaurant were you in this weekend?
It wasn't. That was an old picture. That's from like 2 weekends ago.
Oh, you one of them? You repurposing content, old content?
No, I never posted the photo.
You still got?
I feel like you gotta post it right away. You can't wait.
I did post it right away, but then there was another picture from the night that I wanted to post. What are you, the feds? Like, Jesus.
Where'd you go this weekend?
I didn't go anywhere this week. I was chilling. I was inside.
I don't believe you.
I was inside.
You didn't go to no lunch spot, fast casual dining, nothing?
I was inside.
Okay. All right, we got some promises we made at the top of the show that we got to get to.
Thanks, Corey.
Got her out of there.
Thanks, Corey.
I had to interject there. So we're going to get to the playoff picture, our way too early playoff pictures. And then also what we're going to do is maybe if we have some time, get to the rookies that have been standing out in training camp. I think we're going to take a break real quick, though. We're going to take a break real quick, and we'll come back and hit those topics when the break is over.
Yeah. Once we come back from that break.
Yo, should we save this?
It's time to go. I actually, that was my name.
You smell me? They
called you green light?
Yeah, I learned all this shit from him. Emmett Beach, oh my God.
The girls in the back.
We could talk for hours.
Green light here. Okay.
Hey, green light.
By the way, it's a song.
Hold on, let me explain
It's a song
this
on the Best of Both
Worlds. Let me
Worlds.
explain this though, because this is.
It's a song on Best of Both Worlds that called the Green Light. You don't know that song? Oh,
yeah,
Green
okay.
Light.
Yeah.
Every time I go in Magic City, that song come on. I make sure the DJ play it. I spend about 15, 16, 20,000.
On the song?
One song.
Yeah, on that song. Like that's the time to go. It's time to go.
And you gotta realize, I'm young.
In 3 hours in the strip club.
But I'm young, bro.
Yeah,
I'm young.
No, I spent more than 5,000.
I ain't even throwing my money.
I ain't going on one song though.
Pac and Tish had to teach me how to throw money a couple months ago.
Listen, I
ain't know how to do it.
I spent $10,000 every Monday night for 10 years straight.
Come on, and I matched you too. That's no cap.
Say that again?
I spent $10,000
every
Monday night in Magic City
bullshit.
for 10 years straight. No bullshit.
No bullshit,
for
bro.
10 years straight.
4.8.
Was it worth it?
Hell yeah.
That's a great question too. My finance advisor will be on my line. Shady McCoy. I mean, listen, if you want to be broke, keep doing that. You know how they talk.
I mean, for me, yeah, it was worth it because it was a cultural movement. It wasn't even about the dancers per se. It wasn't about me being this horny guy that wanted to see naked women, right? It wasn't about that. It was just about the actual cultural movement of what was actually happening.
Corey's in the bathroom. I'm calling him out right now. He didn't know how to. Corey, you got to do a better job of making it back on time. If you're gonna go back, go ahead, cut across. You're gonna see Corey cut across. We're on YouTube. Ghetto. Bruh, like you got to do a better job.
I know I gotta get faster.
Like what is going on? Like how did I never?
Can I get like a countdown though? I think
Ain't no countdown. The commercial was 4 minutes.
Nah, it wasn't
You
that
can't
long.
go to the
It
bathroom.
wasn't that long.
And you know where you went wrong?
Corey
Where'd I
washing the
go
back.
You washed his hands. He washed his hands.
I did.
That's where you went wrong.
And you know what's crazy? I know.
That's where he went wrong.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
he
can't
doing the
get
back
that
connection
time.
like he in a restaurant.
So I had my hand sanitizer
Ashley.
sitting here waiting for me for when I came back,
Ashley
but I was like,
look
nah,
at-
I can't do it. I couldn't leave without washing
Hold
my
on.
hands. It's habit. I know. It's like I'm
You
in the wrong,
washing
but
your
really in the right.
hands
That's
is
where he went
where
wrong.
he went wrong.
Yes, he didn't. He peed. He went wrong there.
And what was the
Here's the
alternative? Not
situation.
washing his hands?
Yes. Here's the situation.
Ew.
Dap me
Here's
up,
the
Ashley.
situation. If you're at a restaurant, you got time. You wash your hands, but you got 4 minutes in between segments. You don't wash your hands. I'm sorry. You come back. This is TV. This is showbiz. We gotta go.
He said we gotta.
And then also, I'm gonna be honest with you, Ashley. You can jump in the chat. People can jump in the chat here.
I'm sorry. I'm
beat me to
sorry. I'm
catheter.
sorry.
70% of most men don't wash their hands after they pee.
70%?
What?
Nah, man.
I'm sorry.
Yo, I'm in that 25.
We
No, you not.
I'm definitely.
we
in that
all
25
know we're
Nah.
grown-ups here. We all took
30
sex
right now.
ed. We all know how men use the bathroom. Okay?
How we
Oh, it's
use it,
bad.
yes.
It's bad.
You unzip and you hold and you pee.
That should be the cleanest part of your body.
Yeah, it ain't touching
You're
nothing.
still touching your
It's clean.
but your hands, do you wash your hand before you pee? So you've been touching stuff.
It ain't.
You've been touching stuff and you touch yourself.
Why you always got
You
fat?
pee.
Yeah, right.
And then you don't wash your hands again. I'm like, come
That
on.
was
Like,
funny.
that's disgusting.
Oh my goodness.
You don't wash your hands. Brandon, don't ever touch me ever again.
No, listen. If we're in studio, if I go in the bathroom, I come out and we got like 3 minutes in between, there's a good chance. But you'll see if I have like a towel or whatever. But no, I'll say this. I'll be
you at least
honest.
have hand
I'll be
sanitizer on hand?
honest. The pandemic really pushed me to wash my hands. So now I'm always
The
washing my hands.
pandemic pushed you to wash
Before
your
the
hands?
pandemic, I never washed my hands.
Ew!
I never washed my hands after
Dirt. Get
peeing.
some dirt on that
Never.
fan.
Never.
You never washed
No.
your hands after you used the bathroom before the pandemic?
Like
I'm fist
peeing.
bumping. I'm
Peeing.
fist
Yes,
bumping
that's what I
Brandon from
meant.
now on.
No.
Never washed your hands?
I was
Brandon
10% of the time I was
Brandon
washing
getting
my
knuckles
hands.
from now on, son.
No, I wash my hands now, Corey.
So you
I washed my
hold on
hands
a
before we.
second.
I went to the
What's up,
bathroom
bro?
before the
Hold on a
show. I washed
second.
my hands.
So you
What's up,
were
bro?
literally before the pandemic
Yes,
on
correct.
Inside the NFL, FS1, doing all these TV appearances, meeting fans, shaking their hands, knowing that you did not wash your hands after you peed.
I like that. Yes. You know what? Let's do it like
Ew.
this. Let's do it like this. I still don't wash my hands. So everybody out there, when I'm out at dinner, my lady, know that I don't wash my hands.
Oh man.
Brandon, I am so this is gross. Don't touch me. This is grosser than when Brandon
Twin, give me
Brandon
some.
says that he used to trim his fingernails with his teeth. And then he would use it.
Twin, I know you ain't
And then
talking,
he would
Twin.
use it with a toothpick.
Twin,
He
you
would
put
use
your
his-
finger in your mouth to get all the food out your mouth,
In the
twin.
back.
I'm out. That's not what I said. I said when I eat Cheez-Its or goldfish, when I'm done, I use my finger to get the
get that
cheese
back
out my,
straight.
and then I eat it. But
Here's the
everyone
reality.
does that.
Let me tell y'all the reality.
That's not gross.
Human beings are nasty. So all these people out here saying that they this, they that, come on, the reality is when ain't nobody around, y'all do some nasty stuff. Point blank, period.
Brandon.
Because that's how we got on the conversation about you putting your hands in your mouth and cleaning
That's
out.
not even that gross.
It ain't that bad.
But you're talking about literally going to the bathroom, touching
That's right.
yourself,
That's right.
and then not peeing.
That's right.
That's insane.
It's clean.
No, it's not.
I'm clean. Like after football practice, that's different. But if I'm just sitting around chilling, especially, you know what I'm saying? Y'all like,
Let me say,
All right,
bro.
Twin, let's move on.
Don't touch me. Corey, before we move on, I have some breaking
Hey,
news from the
hey,
NFL
Corey.
world.
Oh yeah. Clean this up.
We have some breaking news from the NFL world. Two breaking news stories. Colts running back Zach Moss suffered a broken arm at practice today, expected to miss about
Sorry to hear
6
that.
weeks.
That's bad
So
timing.
that's some news for Indianapolis. Yes.
timing. In
could
the running back
Jonathan
room?
Taylor potentially create more leverage? I don't know
I
this
think
guy,
that
how
does,
good he
though.
was.
And then a big injury in Denver. Broncos wide receiver was just carted off with a left leg injury. Trainers checked his foot and ankle area.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Tim Patrick.
No!
Oh, Tim Patrick.
No!
It says that second play of
Hold on. I got him
he's
on
like
this.
a wild card.
What do you
it said that second play of
Non-contact.
7-on-7, Broncos wide receiver Tim Patrick went down with a non-contact injury coming off the line. He threw his helmet immediately. Looks like they were looking at his lower leg. He is now being carted off.
We literally had him here for almost a month before training camp. He was been training here. And that's what we were talking about, just like him getting over, finally getting over the ACL from last year in camp, right? And then also going to the next level. He's one of Russell's favorite targets. And then also the dude is big
body,
and he has a nice game.
And he missed last year with an ACL tear.
In camp, he did it in
From a
camp.
while back.
Like he literally did it in camp. I'm heartbroken
Sucks,
right
man.
now.
Camp is like nightmares.
You
man.
said Tim but if you said any names, Jerry, Judy, even Cortland, you know, I still would have been that. But like, man, Tim is like my baby brother. Like we text all the time. Just text him. I literally just text Tim last week in Vegas. You know, because I was looking at a move. A kid did a move in Tennessee that I like, this young kid, and it's a move that he and I have been working on. I'm like, yo, bro, boom. He's like, I'm going to try it in practice. This is devastating, Ashley. You know, this is one of those things that hit home because you have a relationship with the guy, right? Because, injury is inevitable in the NFL, but golly. And there's other injuries in training camp that we haven't been talking about. Like last week was a big week, and this is what you're going to start seeing. You know what I'm saying? Over the next couple of weeks, especially get into preseason games, some of our favorite players, biggest stars go down. It's just unfortunate, and it sucks. But,
I always wondered, like, Corey, you guys did training camp in college, right?
Yeah.
I always wondered, like, obviously training camp is a necessity. It's an essential part of the regular season, getting guys back into playing shape, getting them in pads and helmets. But, I mean, sustaining an injury during training camp, that keeps you out for
the
whole season, part of a season. I mean, I don't know if there's a way to lessen the intensity of training camp, but I feel like we're seeing more and more injuries happen that are putting teams at deficits before the season even starts.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
It's football though, man.
So, Corey, what do you think? Is there anything there?
I don't think so. It's just the nature of the sport that we play. I mean, you know, with Twitter, we're able to see a lot of the videos of what happens immediately afterwards, and you know, we're given more of that now. But it's the nature of the game. It happens every year. It's a tough sport. It's a tough sport.
I agree with you, Corey. There's not much you can do.
Is it shortening training camp?
No, you need it to get. You need it. You need
they've
it.
already
and
changed so
listen,
much,
but it like Corey said, this is the business. That's why, I celebrate guys in their longevity.
Yeah.
For a player to play 10 years, 15 years, that's significant.
Yeah.
That is a big deal.
In this league?
Right. And we don't appreciate that enough, man. So, like, that's a feat in itself because you go out there, that was non-contact. Non-contact mean, as we know, and I'm not talking down to you guys, we all know this, but non-contact means nobody was around.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody touched him, nobody hit him, nothing. He just went down, right? So the only thing that we can do, Ashley, and this is what we've been seeing, right, like our guys really investing in their offseason. Now, Tim Patrick is a guy that, man, we were just having this conversation. It's so crazy. Tim Patrick is a guy who worked his ass off, and the only thing that I could say to him is, like, sometimes he's dialed in too much where he's like, man, he's doing a lot. We had the pleasure of him coming down. He was training with Jerry Judy on the field, doing some things there. So, he did his recovery and some things here a month before training camp. But, like, he and I were literally talking about, because he signed a deal already, a decent deal, and we're like, all right, how do we get to the next deal? And for me, I told him, I said, bro, you need to get to a point where you're investing $300,000-$400,000 in your body every single year. He's like, what? He's sitting there with his wife and his daughter. He's like, what? What do you mean? Come on, bro. I was like, bro. And I always get that Kmart analogy. It's like Kmart, Best Buy, here it is. Like, like it's a corporation, right? We're walking corporation as athletes. Best Buy, Kmart go out there. I don't know why I use Kmart because they went out of
I know,
business.
right?
But Best Buy, they go out there, and for them to generate X amount of dollars a year in revenue, how much are they investing? So why don't we do that as athletes? Now, you hear about the LeBron James of the world. You hear about even Russell coming out saying, I invest $1 million into my body. And so that's what we were literally just talking about, like nutrition, your chef. That might be $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month just having a chef on your team. You might fly in the guru. Forget just working with the people. You can't think like this. Like, okay, cool, I need a massage, or I need a dry needling special, I need a chiropractor, I need this and that. And so I'm going to work with the local gurus. They might not be good enough. So you might have to fly someone in from New York. So that's $1,000 just in flight and hotel. And then you got to pay their fee. And their fee is actually quadruple or if not more because they're walking away from clients. So sorry, Ashley. You threw this breaking news in on us, which
sorry,
sucks.
y'all.
And this hit close to home, so sorry, because I could talk about this for forever. But I know we're supposed to be talking about our rookies. We want to highlight some of our rookies that's doing some phenomenal things.
We'll still do that.
Well,
What I was thinking was what I was going to tell the people too is we're running out of time, obviously, so we're going to save our playoff pictures for tomorrow. So obviously come back so you can see what teams we chose there. But I think we have enough time to kind of break down some of the film that's been coming out of training camp.
I think we wait.
You want to wait?
Yeah,
All right,
I'll be honest. You know why? I always be honest.
Yeah.
It makes producing the show tomorrow easier. We already got some amazing topics. I'm looking forward to seeing Ashley. Why, when we're in group chats, like, see, now this is like the information, right? It's like, come on, some of this stuff needs to stay in house, right? So Corey puts together a group chat, right? Hey guys, I need y'all playoff pictures, right? NFC, AFC. What is it going to look like? Hell, Corey, how do we know? Fucking the season ain't even started. We ain't even see a preseason game. You want us to do this? But okay, we'll respect it. So I sent in my entire list. Boom, right away. Bam. That was Thursday after the show. I sent in my list an hour after. Ashley Nicole Moss, I know you gave it to him, but where is it at? I don't see it. Why don't you? I want to see your list.
It wasn't for you to see. It was for Corey to see.
Why are you hiding this list? Why can't I see it?
Because I don't want you biting off my list, biting off my genius.
But I already put mine out there.
Okay, doesn't mean you can't redo yours?
We got Jazz creating graphics. It's going to create a problem.
Okay. Well.
So if that's what we going to do, Corey, if that's how we going to do this show, then I need it to be fair. I'm not going to give you anything that you ask like ahead of time. I'm not giving you my information in front of Ashley. She's not going to do the same.
That's
not fair.
We won't do that.
Because now she can look at my she got 3 days to break down.
I did not even look at your list.
Yes, you did, because the one, don't tell nobody, because of my NFC, one thing in my NFC, you was like, oh, wow. You made a comment on my NFC.
I sent the little emoji.
Right. So
but I didn't copy yours. I had them in mind too, so.
Who you got coming out of the AFC? Don't tell him. Wait, you gotta wait. You supposed to wait. She's about to do it. She's about to slip up. She's about to do it. Can you give us one shocker? Can you give us one tease of your list?
Who's the last team? How about that? You want to do that? Who's the last team both of y'all got making it?
I'll tell you this. What is there? 7 teams that make it?
Yeah.
I did 8 each. I did 8 each. It's hard.
It's like Spence Crawford going for the draw. Same thing.
It's hard.
I'll give you one. Seahawks.
Okay.
You got Seahawks making it? Interesting, Ashley.
I'll give you one. I have the Seattle Seahawks.
That's tough because that's tough.
That was a tough one.
Okay.
That is tough.
Geno believer?
Well, listen. Remember, I did division winners and I did wild card.
Oh, okay.
So I have Seahawks taking one of those wild card spots.
Wow. So for me doing this exercise, and I'll pull up, the conferences now. This was extremely tough, right? Because you look at what I'm looking at is this defense, right? So like easy for me is a team that has a defense. Okay. Easy for me is a team that has a defense and a quarterback. Okay. And so there's some teams that jumps off the page, right? There's some teams out there that you can bet the house on. But Ashley, Corey, Wu, every year we see a team that creeps in. And then you can look at some divisions in the history around some divisions like Ashley's division, the NFC, NFC East? Mm-hmm. There hasn't been any repeat division champion in 20 years or something like that. Some insane number. So this Philadelphia Eagles, like even that, like Who's going to be the team if this trend continues and it's been here for 20 years? Who's going to be the team that wins the division this year? Is it the Giants?
Yes.
Is it the Cowboys?
No.
Are we sleeping on the Commanders? If that's their name. I don't even know their name. They're talking about going back to the Redskins. Ashley, did you see that news?
I did not, but they should not.
Can we close the show with this? We have a super chat question for you, Brandon.
Okay.
But let's do scale 1 to 10. How surprised would you be if the Jets missed the playoffs?
I would be shocked. And it would be devastating.
Shout out Young Visionary.
Right? Because think about what I just said, Woo.
Yeah.
You have a defense, a top 5 defense. Aaron Rodgers took the biggest pay cut in the history of pay cuts in any industry. We've never seen this happen before. And then you got Aaron Rodgers. Are you, anybody in here, please, is there anybody in here that thinks Aaron Rodgers is done? Ashley, is he done?
No.
Okay, so we good there. You have Aaron
Halfway.
Rodgers.
Because his age.
Bruh, you said, so you're one?
I said halfway.
Now, listen, you know
That's
what?
no different than him with the
well,
draw.
BC
You
also
gotta pick
said
a
halfway.
side.
Bro, you tripping, bro.
I feel like he halfway.
He just went back-to-back MVPs,
Two,
last
3
year?
years ago.
Yeah,
No,
just
he's
2
still good
years
for it.
ago. What are we doing here? What are we
A-Rod's still
saying,
good
Woo?
for it.
I got to see the first half of the season.
You know what, Woo? I respect your opinion.
I try to keep it honest.
You know what I'm saying? If it was boxing, I would respect it more. I would say that. Or
he
fighting.
said because you're a Giants fan, you can't respect it.
I can't respect. Yeah.
They're at the bottom
But
of the
so
belt.
yes, Woo. You know, and Ashley, I don't know how you feel about that question. If you want to add anything there, but like, I would be shocked if they don't because of. I mean, hell, look what they did last year without him, and with a struggling Zach Wilson, all that what they went through there. Come on, man.
Hey.
This just gives us a lot to talk about tomorrow.
I'm firing
sure.
everybody if I'm
You're
Woody
right.
Johnson. We don't make the playoffs. We need to be talking about, the question really should have been, and I don't want to put Super Bowl out here. The question should have been if they don't make the AFC Championship. Would I be shocked there?
Okay.
And we out of time, B. I don't know if you
No,
want
I
to
think we got a couple more minutes, don't we?
No, we're right at the cusp.
We
One
took
Right
a
at the
break.
cusp.
We right there.
The break counts towards the show, Brandon.
Ashley, who you got coming? Who's your Super Bowl?
I'm not telling you. We'll discuss it tomorrow.
That's the show, guys. Brandon Marshall, Ashley Nicole Moss, Corey in the cut, Woo Out West. We hit some historical numbers today. Tomorrow be historical because we'll see, our predictions and they'll come true. Whatever, I'll say this. The Astrodamus.
Astrodamus.
That's what Ashley Nicole Moss is. So you have a chance potentially to bet with Ashley Nicole Moss. If she say this is where she's going, then there's a good chance she might be right. Okay? You got $50, couple dollars laying around. I would bet with Ashley. Ashley, hopefully we twinning tomorrow. And your NFC matches up with my NFC. My AFC matches up with your AFC. So we can really put the money in the house behind our bets. Okay, Astrodamus?
Okay.
Okay, can you tell the people bye in Italiano?
Ciao. Arrivederci. Montebello.
Peace.